Vietnam National Oil and Gas Group, PetroVietnam, is assigned by the government of Vietnam to carry out the task of management and development of oil and gas activities on the entire territory of Vietnam and abroad. Over more than 50 years of operation and development, PetroVietnam has continuously grown and become an international petroleum company with diversified operations in full chain of petroleum industry, from upstream to downstream, both in Vietnam and overseas. In recent years, PetroVietnam has made annual contributions of about 25 to 30% of the total state budget revenue. The strength of the group is founded on passion, a desire for conquest, a spirit of persistence, hard work and the creativity of generations who have devoted their life with a burning determination for finding precious oil resources to enrich the country. Over 50,000 staff, with unity, strive to develop Vietnam's oil and gas industry comprehensively in all fields of activity, including oil and gas exploration and exploitation, the refining and petrochemical industry, the gas industry, power generation and high-quality petroleum technical services. Oil and gas exploration and exploitation, core areas. Speaking of the oil and gas industry, it primarily refers to exploration and production activities. This is the core business, creating a driving force for sustainable development for the oil and gas industry while providing a large source of revenue for the country. Exploration and production are focused towards the development plan of the Vietnamese oil and gas industry up to the year 2015 and direction towards 2025, which was approved by the Prime Minister. PetroVietnam is working with international leading oil companies over the world such as Gazprom, ExxonMobil, Chevron, Total, Petronas, PDVSA, etc., to carry out the exploration and production activities in country and abroad. At present, PetroVietnam is implementing 65 petroleum contracts domestically, 20 contracts internationally in 14 countries, while producing oil and gas from 20 fields in-country and 5 others in its overseas projects. In the period 2011 to 2015, PetroVietnam continues to push up exploration and production operations within and outside the country, striving to increase the recoverable reserves by 35 to 40 million tons per year and the annual production of 25 to 28 million tons of oil equivalent. Refining and petrochemical industry. Processing of oil and gas is one of the main business activities of PetroVietnam, playing an important role for the comprehensive development and enhancement of PetroVietnam's competitive position in the international arena. PetroVietnam is actively accelerating the refining and petrochemical projects and production of biofuels in order to meet the basic needs for petroleum and petrochemical products and raw materials in the country. Dung Quoc Refinery, the symbol for Vietnam's refining and petrochemical industry, was put into operation in 2009 and currently meets 30% of domestic demand for petroleum products. The Phu My and Ca Mau fertilizer plants, with total capacity of 1.6 million tons per year, annually meet 70% of domestic demand for urea, which is an important contribution to ensuring the food security and the independence of the country from the foreign nitrogen sources. The projects of Dinh Phu synthetic fiber plant, Nghi Sơn oil refinery and petrochemical complex, the Southern Petrochemical Complex, Long Son refinery and several biofuel projects are also being actively deployed by the group to put into operation as soon as possible in order to meet the growing demand for fuel, petrochemical raw materials, contributing to reduce the trade deficit of the country. Gas industry. Gas is a clean energy resource and accounts for an increasing proportion in the primary energy structure of Vietnam. PetroVietnam has been operating and deploying many large-scale gas projects to meet the needs of gas for key consumers such as power plants, fertilizer and electricity plants, low-pressure gas industrial consumers, transportation and civil activities. Since the completion of the backhaul Ba Ria pipeline system in 1995, the first gas flow was brought ashore, provided Ba Ria power plant with gas with a capacity of 1 million cubic meters per day, which has continuously increased over the following years by expanding the pipeline system of Ba Ria Phu My Ding Ko gas processing plant, the LPG storage and port in Thi Vai, and gas distribution stations. In 2002, the Namconsan gas pipeline system, including the gas pipeline, Ding Ko gas processing station, Phu My gas distribution center, and pipeline from Phu My to Ho Chi Minh City, was completed, providing additional gas to power plants in Phu My, increasing the total gas supply up to 7 billion cubic meters per year. In May 2007, the PM3 CAA Ca Mau gas pipeline system was completed and put into operation, supplying gas for Ca Mau power plants, increasing the total gas production and supply to about 8 billion cubic meters per year. So far, the total amount of gas onshore reaches more than 9 billion cubic meters per year, meeting the basic household needs for gas. In the future, to complete the goals set up in the Master Plan of Gas Industry of Vietnam by 2015 and direction towards 2025, which was approved by the Prime Minister, PetroVietnam is continuing to implement the import infrastructure projects, including Gas Pipeline System Block B, O Mon and Ca Mau Gas Processing Plant, Namconsan 2 Gas Pipeline System, LNG Import Terminal, Gas Infrastructure Development in Tai Binh Province, associated gas gathering from Kieu Long, Dong Do, Dong Doi Moi oil fields, to maintain and increase the gas production and supply, contributing to national energy security. Electricity generation. Investment in power generation sustains the investment in energy infrastructure, meeting the increasing power demand and energizing the economic development of the country. PetroVietnam is investing heavily in power generation and has become the second largest power producer in Vietnam. The current generation capacity of PetroVietnam accounts for around 10 to 11% of total effective installed capacity of the country. PetroVietnam has been responsible for the construction of 10 projects with a total capacity of over 9,000 megawatts. The gas-fired power plants of Ca Mau 1, Ca Mau 2, Nhơn Trạch 1 and Nhơn Trạch 2, with a total installed capacity of 2,700 megawatts, have been operating safely, reliably and efficiently. In the meantime, PetroVietnam continues to build other thermal power projects of Vũng An 1, Long Phu 1, Tai Binh 2, Quang Trạch 1, Song Ho 1, hydropower projects of Hua Na and Dak Dring and Phu Quy wind power plant. By the year 2020, the company strives to produce 15 to 20% of the total capacity of the national grid, contributing significantly to energy security and the development of the country. High-quality petroleum technical services. The technical support services, which used to be provided by international service companies, have grown strongly and made significant contributions to the efficient implementation progress of projects, accounting for a greater proportion in total revenue of the group. In recent years, revenue from oil and gas service sector has occupied about 30% of the total revenue of PetroVietnam. We are proud that we have mastered this field and are trusted by foreign partners. The high-quality petroleum technical services have received intensive investment, including general surveying, technical services for exploration and production, transportation, storage, supply and distribution of petroleum products, operation and maintenance of oil and gas installations, design, construction and installation of petroleum and electricity structures, shipping and logistics services, etc. Training and development of human resources and science and technology. Following the development strategy, PetroVietnam carries out comprehensive training programs to accompany the development strategy of company. Training is carried out across the main areas of leadership and management, leading professionals, science, technology, and project officials and engineers in order to meet three goals: towards modernization and professionalism, towards globalization, and towards the future cultural heritage of the petroleum industry. The establishment and development of PetroVietnam is associated with the scientific research and technological development of the group. Its many scientific and technological achievements in Vietnam's oil and gas industry have contributed to the image of PetroVietnam today. The most remarkable are the effective exploration and production of oil and gas in the tertiary granitic basement of the Cue Long Basin on the continental shelf of Vietnam. Research and development activities are comprehensively implemented in all phases of its business. Environment, health and safety issues are a primary responsibility and concern of all levels of management in the daily production and business activities of PetroVietnam. PetroVietnam has been and will take all appropriate measures to mitigate and minimize the risks of harm to human health and life and of damage to property and the environment. PetroVietnam has always committed and required all officials and employees to be aware of and fully comply with the environmental health and safety policies in all activities, for the benefit of the community and all stakeholders. Along with the development of oil and gas activities in the country, since the late 1990s, PetroVietnam has been actively searching for and expanding its overseas investment. Currently, the group actively implements petroleum exploration and production projects in about 20 countries around the world, such as Russia, Venezuela, Malaysia, Algeria, Myanmar, Cambodia, Peru, of which there are particularly large projects in scale and total investment operated by PetroVietnam, such as Junrin 2 oil field in Venezuela, Nyenhesky in Russia, with early encouraging results in petroleum production, bringing reliable economic benefits for the group, as well as confirming the policy of reaching out across the open sea, contributing to the security of energy for the country. Active participation in social work is the traditional beauty and culture of PetroVietnam. In recent years, the average annual contribution by PetroVietnam to the social responsibility projects is over $30 million through a variety of activities to support education, building schools, health centers, and houses of unity and gratitude, supporting to overcome the consequences of natural disasters. Social responsibility works funded by PetroVietnam have contributed to changes in many rural and remote undeveloped areas, bringing happiness to many disadvantaged people. PetroVietnam also extends love and sharing for the international community when natural disasters occur in countries around the world. Proud of the achievements, PetroVietnam is taking a strong step into the future with its vision towards 2025, i.e. to become the leading oil and gas economic group in the region, the pride of Vietnamese people. The prestige of leading brands, trust of domestic and foreign partners, and above all, the efforts and skill, professionalism, solidarity and innovative spirit of the whole of PetroVietnam's team of leaders, officials and employees is the key to opening up new opportunities and new success for PetroVietnam in the development process of the country. With the motto, solidarity, discipline, quality, efficiency, safety, security, empathy, responsibility, for the sake of PetroVietnam's sustainable development, for the sake of Vietnam fatherland prosperity. PetroVietnam will certainly deserve increasing confidence of the Vietnamese people. PetroVietnam, energy for development of the country.